Take for example, South Asian, the participation from the part of the citizens or those who are governed, and accountability from the government or whoever governs. What is the situation? Voice and accountability. Look at this chart. The situation is completely contrary to what the inclusivity should be in case of India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Of course, it is the ethnicity, it is the religion, right? That divides the country. It is the Muslim minority in case of India that is completely shut up. And I'm referring to such a commission and subsequent, right? In case of Sri Lanka, look at the Tamil population. Look at the Muslim population in Sri Lanka in the eastern part of India. Where are their voices? Look at Chittagong Hill Trust. Where are their voices in Bangladesh? Look at, in case of Pakistan, look at what exactly it means to be a Baluch. For 70 plus years, they are fighting for a nationalist, space, little bit of space. Baluchs are not arguing for a separate land. And in case of Pakistan, our experience as a Bangladeshi, we should know what it means to be excluded, right? 25 years of experience should tell us. Might not have taught us. We might not have learned the lesson, but it should tell us. It should tell us a similar thing with respect to Nepal, right? Even their democratization process is so shortcutted through this, the Tarai people, the Madesi, these kind of cases, what it tells us is that instead of providing an opportunity for open discourse on the national identity and an effort to accommodate the regionally differentiated, economically disparate, culturally different nations, South Asia's nation states have miserably failed to accommodate the nations. All of the South Asian states are actually multi-nation states, but none of them try to accept this reality. That is the exclusionary policies of the South Asian states that we have seen. And all these things are done, in the name of majoritarianism. All these things. Sri Lankan Buddhists have argued this, the Sinhala population have argued, we are the majority. What does that mean? The religion portion, the regional portion. Then let us look at the Indian case of the caste portion. Right? Can we ignore that? Does that actually allow the Indian state and the governance allow these voices to be included? Or for that matter, in case of Pakistan, the sectarian push. Ahmadis are not Muslim in case of Pakistani constitution. State decides who actually is a Muslim or not, based on the majoritarian argument, right? The absence of gender sensitivity of the nation states in South Asia. The symbolic gestures and putting three individuals who happens to be female on the governance does not make it gender sensitive. Policies are outrightly patriarchal, and hardly it is challenged by anybody else. When someone stands up and says that this is unacceptable, they will demean the person, and who, if happened to be a female, would have the worst of their lives. Then add to this all these things that I have said. Since 1990, all these South Asian states have adopted this neoliberal policies in the name of the globalization. Even it preceded the current shape, the shape-shifting idea of globalization. I think globalization is dead, but nevertheless, that's a different conversation. Since 1990s, the South Asian states have adopted these neoliberal policies which has created, which not only in the name of the reform measures, it not only marginalized a significant number of population in South Asia, it created a new middle class in the entire region. And what is the contribution of this new middle class? Most of them are very undemocratic. Most of the middle class that have emerged out of these neoliberal policies and so-called globalization in South Asia, possibly beyond that, but here let me limit myself to the South Asia, have actually been very much undemocratic. That brings me to the third point that I have insisted on. This undemocratic thing and all these things, this neoliberal policies which has created all these sort of things in South Asia and India, has it actually improved the effectiveness of the state? It hasn't. If the neoliberal policy was sold to us saying that, okay, this is going to do great thing, that is going to bring efficiency, it is going to be creating accountability, has it done so? If you take 1990s as the point of departure of the neoliberal policies adoption in South Asia, and then, where are we? 2019? How many years? I'm very bad in math. Please do the math yourself. I'm really, truly very bad in math. That's why I am criticizing. But nevertheless, the point is, what happened? If the neoliberal policies actually it has created a permanent underclass in South Asia, who are marginalized not only for the economic reasons only, because neoliberal policy is not only about economy. Anyone who tells you that neoliberal policy is only about economy, either not telling you the truth or deliberately misleading you. Please be careful about those people. So if it has not increased the effectiveness, what it did, if you look at this, you would understand. All these permanent underclass, all these informal practices, personal rule, all these things that I mentioned, the marginalization, a combination of this personalization of state, absence of inclusive economic and political system, have made possible through progressive attenuation of rule of law. The states in the region, perhaps to a certain extent, exception is India from the respective exception, have very weak institutions, including judiciary. And that's why the rule of law in South Asia, irrespective of those countries, their performance, and this is from World Justice Project, right? How it is justified? That is my fourth point. A neo-patrimonial structure have evolved in South Asia. It has been there, but it has been now became the mainstay of politics and economy. State has been used, despite the fact that the liberalization is supposed to make state smaller, private sector bigger, market should dominate, all these mantras that we have been told. State has still remained the primary source of resources and politicians use it for their purposes. That is for new patrimonialism. Personal loyalty acts as the guiding logic. In South Asia, neo-patrimonialism has become rampant as statistics on corruption amply demonstrate. Despite expansion of public sector, states in South Asia are still a major source of economic resources. Cronyism, corruption, and unproductive rent seeking have become integral parts of economic planning. Apparently, the rent seeking has become decentralized under the guise of party and ruling elite. Neo-patrimonial states involve a blend of top-down personal rule with technocratic competitors. Let me quote something from, Tim Kelson, and he's talking about Africa, but it is equally true for South Asia. And I quote, neo-patrimonialism allows African politicians to supplement their incomes through corruption or to use the power of the state to gain a foothold in business. Second, the business sector is a valuable source of rents for politicians to distribute in the interest of buying off political rivals or winning election contests. End of quote. So these are the challenges. And what it means that all this is combination. The devastating part is the absence of progressive attenuation of social justice. If you look at this is from the Parkinson's Transformation Index that I am using those. Look at the bottom three. These are the ones from other Asian countries. And I'm not comparing with Europe. I'm not comparing with other countries which can be considered as culturally so different, so and so forth. Cultural diversity notwithstanding, the point is that all these combinations, these four challenges, where you can see is look at the social justice. Isn't that what the government is supposed to be? Or at least I expect them to. So where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? I know how did we arrive here. Where do you go from here? First, let's accept, acknowledge, discuss how did we arrive here. Hopefully for the next 2 days or 1.5 days left, we'll be able to discuss those things. Thank you for your patience. I understand that I am the one standing between you and the one, but thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Yes, Ali Riaz. Give the floor.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Dr. Ali Riaz, for your thoughtful paper.
For
The
use,
challenges you have brought forth are very much concerning and very interesting for discussion and debate for the next
Asian
one and a
teacher.
half days.